Hi everyone, you're welcome back to another interesting tutorial. Today we are going to learn how to make this beautiful underbust corset. We are going to be learning how to cut and also how to draft it and sew it together. So guys, I would like to start by telling us there is a two-way in making this. You either cut your pencil gown and attach your underbust corset, or you cut your underbust corset together with your shoulder. So if you're interested, just keep watching and let's get into the drafting. Now I have my pattern paper and I'm going to divide my shoulder by two. I'll place my tape this way to get my shoulder to bust, shoulder to underbust, shoulder to waist, and shoulder to the hip line, which is 25. So I'm going to be making a length 25 for the upper part. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and rule it out. Draft our neck width of 3 inches. This is the front pattern. Okay, I'll mark neck width of 3 inches, get my shoulder slope, mark my armhole line. From the bust point, I came up with 2 inches for my chest line. I'm going to rule my armhole line like this. So I'll label the chest line, bust point, under bust, label the waist and the hip line. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to divide my bust palm into two and mark it from the chest line down to the hemming part. I'm going to go ahead and rule it out like this. So having done that, the next thing I'm going to do is to mark 1.5 inches on the both side of the underbust. Coming to the down part, I'm going to mark 1 inch at the both side of the hemming part. So I will connect it like this from the underbust to the bust point. I'm going to connect the two sides like this. Just cross-checking my measurements. Now I'm going to place my French curve and curve it out. So guys, I am going to divide whatever that is left on the shoulder by 2 and get the midpoint. Having marked the midpoint, I am going to connect from the shoulder to meet to the bust point. Now guys, the next step is to mark my bust dart. I'm going to be inputting a bust dart to this. So I'm going to mark from the bust point. From the bust point beneath it, I'm going to mark my 1.5 inches for my bust point. So it's going to have a bust dart to this. I am going to place my ruler like this and connect it straight up like this. So having done that, the next thing I'm going to do is to slash my shoulder open. So I want to close my bust dart. Okay, so the next thing is to open this shoulder. I'm going to cut it to stop at the bust point. Then I'm going to go ahead and also open the bust dart together. So I have cut the bust dart like this. The next thing is to bring this down part that I just cut open. I'm going to use my gum, splitting the gum on the bust point line. After that, I'm going to bring the place I just cut open and close my bust dart like so. So you can see the way I just close it. Having done that, you can see that I now have an opening from the shoulder Now to get the neckline that I wanted from the shoulder, I came down with 8 inches. Okay, you can also stop at chest line. So I'm going to place my ruler like this in a curvy part to mark the V-shaped neckline. Okay, so I just connected my V-shaped neckline like this. Now the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do to place my French curve, to curve it out from that middle center like this. From the underbust, I will just connect my curve to meet to the middle center of this front pattern. As you can see that our corset shape is just coming out. So coming to this other side, the next thing I'm going to do first is to input my measurement. I'm going to add up this little opening I have on the chest line. I'm going to bring it back. If it is if it is 0.5 inches, I'm going to go ahead and mark it there. Add my measurement. Coming to the underbust, I'm going to put my underbust measurement, bringing back the dart intake I took out there and mark it. Then coming to this down part, I'll connect the 1 inch I took at the side. I'll connect it straight up to the underbust like this. I'll continue taking my measurement. Please note that this type of style that we're making is for an advanced, okay? It's for an advanced class. So the next thing is to input my hip measurement on these down parts. I'm going to bring back the dart intake I took from there and mark it. Now I notice that my dart is a little bit slanty from at the down part, so I now connect everything 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches, same thing as the underbust side. So I now have 3 inches at the both side of the hemming part. So this particular place I am shading out will be the place I am going to cut out. Now I'm going to correct my measurements, like my marking. Like I said before, that this you can achieve this type of style in two different way. Either you cut out your basic pencil long gown, then cut out your underbust corset and attach it. It can be as a detachable or underbust corset. So if you want to rock your simple basic gown separate, you can as well rock it separately. But if you want to attach your underbust corset to your simple basic gown, you can attach it. And the second part is the method that we are just doing. We are cutting both the underbust and the shoulder together. That is the second method of cutting this type of style. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead to put my measurement. I noticed that my measurement is not enough. The allowance I added is not enough. I'm going to go ahead and add a little allowance to it and connect it with my pencil like this. So now you can see that our corset is now having shape. Okay, this is an underbust corset. So I'm still like what I just did here is to place my French curve and curve it out, connecting it to meet to the bust point at this side part of the corset. Now I wanted to like tight up my over bust tightening. So on this shoulder, I just went in a little bit with like a 3/4 at the both side of this shoulder. I'm just tightening the our shoulder, like tighten the curb. Okay, I just came in with 3/4 at the both side and connect it straight down to the bust point. Now on this side part of this corset, what I just did there is just place my curve rule, connecting it to me to the bust point line, as you can see there. Now coming to the curve style that we have, on the waistline I came down with 4.5 inches. You cannot come down with 4 inches if you want, but after trimming everything for my own is going to come back with 4 inches. Now before I curve out, I am going to fold in my dart like this for me to be able to get the actual curve that I wanted. I am folding in that intake I just took, that 3 inches I took, I just folded it in like this. Okay, if you did not fold it in like this, please guys, you are not going to get your curve correctly. Okay, make sure you fold in your dart intake. Okay, having done that, I'm going to come down with 4.5 inches. I'll just mark it there. Then I'm going to bring my curvy ruler and place it, making sure that it touches to the side part of that hemming part. Then I'm going to go ahead and curve it out like this. You can see that the curve rule is relaxing there. If you did not fold your darts inside like this, you are not going to get the exact curve that you want. Make sure you fold your dart intake inside. Okay, now after curving it out, I'm going to open it up. I'm still just trying to mark it correctly. Now I have gone ahead to open it, and you can see the way the curve is looking. You can see the way the curve is looking. I'm still blending it out. Now the next thing is to just cut everything out. After cutting out, we are going to head over to the back pattern. Please note that the down part of this gown is going to be a pencil long gown. I'm going to be telling us how you are going to go about cutting this on our next tutorial. Okay, how you are going to cut the down part, and also how you are going to join these together. I'll cut the armhole like this. Then I'm going to cut out the side corset. So this is what it looks like. While cutting on my fabric, I'm going to fold this center area up, but before that I'm going to be closing this opening I have on the under bust corset, like this one. I'm going to close them together. Okay, I wouldn't want to have a dart line on that part, so I just close it. While cutting on my fabric, I'll fold it up and cut it out, and you can see that I trim a little something out from that curvy area. So this is how it's going to be looking. Now let's head to the back. Now you can see that I have my basic back pattern. I have my zipper allowance here, 1.5 inches for my zipper allowance, and I have my neck width of 3 inches by 1.5 inches for the depth. I have my shoulder to chest line, shoulder to bust, shoulder to waist, and shoulder to the full length, which is 25 inches, the hip line. Okay, and I have curved my armhole and also came down to mark my shoulder slope. Now the next thing is to input my bust span, divide by 2 from the chest line. I'm going to put it down to the hemming part, and I'm going to connect it like this. So now I'm going to be marking our normal darts or intake here. On the waistline, I'm going to take half inch at the both side. This is just my diagonal basic darts or leg. You can go ahead and mark any dart leg of your choice. Okay, I'll connect from the waistline like this to meet to the bust area, and from the waistline down to meet to the hemming part, in a slanty shape like this. So guys, I wanted to because the picture we are recreating, we don't normally know how in fact, we don't even know how the back looks like. So just go ahead and draft any back of your choice. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to put all my measurements here. I'll put my bust measurement divided by 4, waist divided by 4. I'll bring back the dart intake. Then on the hemming part, hip divided by 4. I'm going to go ahead and mark. So after doing that, I'm going to connect all the lines like this. So now from the waistline, I'm going to come down again with 4.5 inches. I am going to be curving out the back. So the back is going to have this curvy style. So I will come down with 4.5 inches, and I'm going to fold in my dart intake like this for me to be able to curve it out. Okay, make sure you fold in, guys. Make sure you fold in. So I'll place my curve rule, but before you do that, please make sure you bring your front pattern and place on the waistline so that you can get the length. In fact, just make sure that your front curve and your back curve is going to be the same length. Now I have my yoke at the upper side. So now I'm going to get the deep neckline that I wanted for this back. I will just um mark from the shoulder to the chest line. I'll just come down with 0.5 inches from the shoulder to the chest line. That is beneath the chest line. I'm going to curve it out like this. So it's up to about 8.5 inches there. I'm just giving it a shape of my choice, a shape of my style. Okay, I just curve out the yoke like this, and this particular place I'm shading out will be the place I'm going to be cutting out. Okay, now on the waist, I'm going to remove 1/2 inch for my zip tightening. So I'll just connect it like this. So the next thing is to cut it out. Remember, I have not placed the front on the back to know if the curvy part of the front and the back is equal. I'm going to do that later. Now, if you can decide to just draft your basic back bodies like this without cutting out the yoke, just draft it and sew your thing the way you want your back to be. It's your choice, okay? Now guys, I'm going to cut out the dart. So you can see the way I came down from the chest line like this to get my yoke. I am cutting out my yoke like so. Now after opening the back, I'm going to apply my gum to it for me to glue it together. Okay, please, why you are joining this with your gum, remember that there is some allowance that you have taken away from this. So while cutting it on your main fabric, make sure you add back, even if it is 3/4, make sure you add it back. All right, now this is the back, and you can see how it's looking. I'm going to bring the front. To know how you are going to get the correct placement, just make sure that your front waistline is sitting on your back waistline to know if they correspond. Like this place, you saw the allowance is the zipper allowance. Now the front is a little bit longer than the back, so I'm going to do that while cutting on the fabric. I will fill it up. Okay, so on our next tutorial, I'm going to teach us how to join and also how to sew it together. I have my back here and I also have my front pattern here like so. You see me arranging it up. While you're cutting this center part at this under bust, make sure you fold it up like so, and you can see that I added allowance all round name. So this upper part is going to be 2 pieces. Also add your allowance. Okay, thanks for watching and see you on the next tutorial on how to join them together. Bye for now.